Everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm going to give it a couple of more minutes, allow some more people to join in for today, but thank you so much for being here. Just a minute or two, let more people join. All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. Thank you again so much for joining our webinar today, Tools, Trends, and Tactics for Smarter Sourcing in 2026. My name is Bethany Somerson. I'm the Channel Marketing Manager here at Bstock, and I'll be hosting our session for today. If you joined us for our first last buyer education webinar last August, welcome back. And if this is your first time joining us, so happy that you're here and welcome. We have got a full agenda for today, and I'm actually joined by a few of my colleagues for today's conversation. So you know me, I'm your host, Bethany. I also am joined by Noah Berman, our Senior Product Marketing Manager, Drea Vargas, our Content Marketing Manager, and Vic Tran, our Buyer Account Manager. And together we're going to walk through today's topics and address any of the questions that you guys submitted when you were registering for this webinar. And if at any point you have any questions that come up for you while we're going through the slides, you can drop them below in the Q&A tab. And we have Nikki from our customer support team that will be answering those as they come in. And so with that, we can take a look at what we're going to get into today. So first, we're going to start off talking about some post-holiday trends, some promotions, and some updates from new sellers joining Bstock. And then Drea will walk us through the new and revamped Buyer Resource Center and all of the tools available for you. And then Noah is going to lead a conversation around all of the amazing platform updates that we're launching this year. And then we're going to round out today's session by answering some of those questions that you guys submitted. And Vic will join in that conversation to talk a little bit about contracts as well. And so with that, I think we are ready to get started. Again, if at any point you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A tab below. Okay, let's jump in. So, as you know, we just wrapped up the busy post-holiday return season here at Bstock, and whether it was that sweater that didn't fit or an impulse Black Friday buy, Q1, we see a lot of returned and excess inventory here on Bstock. And so to put that into perspective a little bit, this holiday season, we saw 18% of retail sales, roughly $170 billion worth of inventory returned. And a big chunk of that was actually flowed through Bstock. And historically, in Q1, we typically see around a 20% jump in inventory across most categories and conditions. And this creates a prime opportunity for our buyers to snag their favorite inventory. And if we go back to November and December of last year, we saw big spikes in these really common categories on Bstock. So in electronics, a 47% spike in grocery, 30% jump in mixed lots, and a 23% jump in home and garden. And the big picture here is that thanks to buyers like you, over 160 million units of inventory was kept in circulation in 2025. So that's over 1 million tons of valuable inventory that has stayed in use and out of landfills. And here at Bstock, we're so proud to play a role in driving sustainability in the re-commerce space. So we want to thank you guys all for being a part of that and being a part of that journey with us. And so let's talk a little bit about promotions and some updates from new sellers that we have going on. So I want you guys to keep an update on your inbox as we go into April and like the spring months. This is when we're going to start pushing our summer sourcing event. It's a great opportunity for you guys to get ahead of the summer inventory demand and start sourcing those warm weather goods a lot earlier. So things like patio furniture, grills, bikes, etc. And of course, with springtime, we also have some additional promotional campaigns like our spring cleaning and home organization campaign, Easter sourcing, and Mother's Day sourcing. And let's talk a little bit about storefronts as well. We are all about launching new storefronts and new logos here at Bstock, and I've got a couple I want to talk about today. So, up first, we have AutoWares. This is a seller that carries new condition, general automotive supplies, and car parts. And then we have Briscoe Brands, an apparel storefront that features graphic tees, tanks, and sweatshirts for the whole family. And we also have Get Live, which actually just launched today. They feature inventory from brands like Jordache and Outer Stuff. And Outer Stuff is actually a designer and manufacturer for licensed sports apparel, if that is something that interests you. And for our buyers that are interested in smartphones and electronics, Pro Service is coming to Bstock very soon. They're a brand new storefront that will feature inventory like smartphones and tablets and wearables from brands like Samsung, Apple, and Google. And I very quickly want to touch on a few seller rebrands. Once in a while, we have some sellers that go through a rebrand or change their business name, and I want to particularly call out Vire. So they are now going by ODP Business Solutions, Signature Hardware, they're now going by Ferguson, and Alpha Broder, they're now going by SNS Activewear. So although their names are different now, the inventory stays the same, and you can search for those sellers by their new names in the All Sellers drop-down menu in the All Listings page. And of course, always keep tabs on our socials and in your inbox for any other updates and announcements related to promotions and new sellers coming to Bstock. And now on to a couple of really exciting opportunities that we have to meet some of you guys in person. We will be at ASD Market Week in Las Vegas next month. So ASD is one of the premier wholesale merchandise shows, and if you're planning to attend, we would love for you to stop by at our booth. We'll be at booth number C34344 at the Las Vegas Convention Center, March 17th to the 19th. And you can also meet us at WHSL Market in Kentucky on April 21st and the 22nd. This is a great opportunity to network with other resale buyers and learn more about the industry and learn more from the educational sessions that they'll have on at that event as well. And it's completely free to attend, so we hope to see some of you guys there. And as we dive into our next topic, I'd like to bring out Drea, our amazing content marketing manager. She's going to tell you a little bit about our newly revamped Buyer Resource Center and everything related to the tools, articles, tips and tricks and resources to help you grow and manage your resale business. So Drea, over to you.
Thanks, Bethany. So I'm Drea. I've been working on Bstock's buyer-facing content for the last few years. I'm really happy to be here. Today is actually my webinar debut. So happy to see so many faces here and excited to share with y'all our revamped Buyer Resource Center. It's really been a long time coming. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Awesome. So, what is the Buyer Resource Center? Aside from it being my personal passion project, it's a growing library of content, excellent for new buyers looking to place that first bid and seasoned resellers alike. Going to walk you through how to find the Buyer Resource Center and navigate its different sections. To start, we'll actually head back to the home page. You can now access the Buyer Resource Center directly from this For Buyers tab. So from there, you'll land on the main page we were just looking at. This is our hub, if you will. So we've designed the flow here to lead you through a natural progression of topics from pre-registration through to buying. So hopefully by now you know who we are, Bstock, and you're familiar with us. Registration, resale certificates, inventory types, buying formats, payments, and more. It's all covered here. And as you'll scroll, you'll find dedicated sections to shipping, our partners page, where you can find resources for growing your resale business, and free tools. So I want to head back to that getting started section. Here you'll see a grouping of all that wonderful getting started content for buyers. So for international buyers especially, I'd recommend this blog. Here we walk you through inventory available to international buyers with a region by region breakdown. So we update this frequently and you'll be able to see exactly which sellers allow freight forwarding service and other unique requirements related to export. We'll answer some more questions related to cross-border shopping and how to process and how to purchase inventory outside of your origin country a bit later in the QA. I also want to call out that all of our articles are interconnected, meaning if you've landed here on a blog dedicated to international registration, we'll recommend places you should head to next, like this international shipping, how it works, which I think we passed right here, and also common export documents that you can easily access right here. This ensures a steady stream of relevant content for you. So I'm going to head back to the getting started page. Something really cool about this bioresource revamp is that we've now included accompanying video content to a lot of our articles. So for example, I'm going to click into how to browse listings. If you just don't feel like reading through these tips, you can watch, which I understand, you can watch this walkthrough video by Vic, who is our buyer account manager and advocate, and you'll be hearing from him later, demonstrating tools like watch lists and save search in real time while navigating through the all listings page. So we're really focused on growing this library of video content so that you have this visual, clear overview of new tools, best practices, and more. You can head to our YouTube channel at Bstock Solutions for even more, and stay tuned for exciting new Hear from Our Experts series. Before I pass it back to Bethany, let's jump over to those free tools I mentioned, which you can access here. So you'll see on this page, we include new seller previews, seasonal guides, industry insights, and more. These are what we call more premium buyer assets, and they're always available to you here in the Buyer Resource Center whenever you need them. You can also find category-specific guides like this one. Let's click into it. A good use case here is if you started off purchasing apparel on Bstock, but then you later become interested in sourcing electronics, you can use this electronics one-pager to compare storefront highlights like listing schedules, inventory types, locations, and more. Let's head back. And just the last thing here is that you can quickly navigate to our dedicated buyer blog and FAQs directly from the Buyer Resource Center. So this really is like your hub for everything you need to know. So just to end here on frequently asked questions, we're always adding to this whenever we have new product features and new profile features. So we're constantly adding to this. If you ever have questions, just know we probably have answers in here. So that's it for my demo. I hope you've enjoyed this Buyer Resource Center revamp. If you haven't seen it already, please check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions on something you'd like to see, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I'm happy to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Oh, Bethany, I think you're muted.
So sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yes, thank you so much, Drea, for sharing all that info on the Bio Resource Center. There is so many amazing articles and free downloads, so definitely check those out. So now let's shift gears a little bit and pass it over to my colleague Noah Berman, our Senior Product Marketing Manager. He's going to walk us through some cool new product enhancements that are designed to improve your buyer experience and give you even greater purchasing power in 2026. So, Noah, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bethany and Drea. Thanks for going over all that great content that our buyers can access. As the product marketer here at Bstock, one of my jobs is to work with our product and engineering teams to make sure that we're developing features and functionality that's really going to enhance the experience of our buyers. So today, one of the things that I wanted to do was go over some of the things that are currently live on the platform that you can access, as well as talk through some of the pieces that are coming up throughout the next couple of months that you'll be able to access to make your buying experience better on the platform in general. So, what's live now? First thing I wanted to touch on is payments. Payments is something that we're continually trying to update here at Bstock. Um, our net terms program, in case you have not heard of this, is a partnership with Balance where we actually allow you to pay for inventory on a net 30. So you can actually go into your account and into the payment methods section of your account. And if you're not currently approved for net terms, you can actually apply right in there and get a decision pretty instantly from Balance with just a couple of pieces of information. If you are familiar with net terms and it's something that you're actually using on the platform right now, you may have found that the amount of credit you're approved for doesn't actually always equal the uh, amount that credit, your inventory that you want to. And so we've introduced this new split payments feature to make sure that if a listing exceeds the amount of credit that you have available to you at any time, you can actually draw down your total net terms credit and then pay for any remainder with ACH. Other than View is something that we are slowly rolling out, something that we had on our old platform and is now also on the new platform. If you go to the all listings page, you'll see on the right hand side, there's a button that'll say list view. It's currently in beta, but is something that we really want buyers to use more. There are some key features to list view that aren't actually available on grid view right now, including an export button to get all of the listing information that's available for what you're interested in. There is new filters and ways to sort through inventory. A key one here being percent of MSRP. So we know a lot of our buyers, you make purchases based off the percent of MSRP of a listing. If you actually go into the list view and click down on that kind of reverse caret that you see on the percent MSRP column, you can filter by specific levels of MSRP or even look at a range of percent of MSRP. Finally, I also want to point out you actually bid directly on listings from the list view. Currently, this is only for our Gen Merch listings. We're going to be rolling out mobile bidding on list view over the next couple of months, but definitely give this a try. We'll take into account your shipping destination to make sure that all the costs are accurate. And this is really just a way for you to bid faster and do it in one place instead of opening up multiple tabs. Another thing that I really want to point out and that we hear so often is how do I get the best deal? How do I find things that are going to sell well or sell at high rates for my business? Right now, we've taken all of the data that Bstock has had over our last 15 years in business and used that to deliver on a piece of functionality that we think is going to meet your needs. Right now, this is an A/B testing, so some of you may see it and some of you may not. But definitely know that if you are one of the lucky ones, congratulations. Don't hesitate to start to use this and see how you like it. If you don't see it, don't worry, it's going to be available in the next couple of weeks to months. This is really a way for you to find inventory that is the best deal for you. You'll notice it on the homepage with the best deals tracker where you can look at fair, good, and great pricing and actually easily see how many listings qualify into those areas. Or if you click into our all listings page, there'll be new filters to actually go deep into fair, good, and great pricing. And you'll even actually see little cards on each listing block itself to signify and kind of make sure that you know when something is a great deal. So again, if you don't see it, don't worry, you'll see it soon enough, but we're really looking forward to making your lives easier by helping you understand what inventory is going to get your business the best outcome possible. Finally, one more thing I want to mention, live on the site right now and that we're continuing to improve for you as buyers is universal conditions and grading. Across both general merchandise and our mobile business, we're working with our sellers to really make sure that the inventory that you're looking at has a consistent condition on the website and on upon delivery. We know this is something that's always top of mind for our buyers. We're really trying to make the experience as seamless as possible. And, please, over the next couple of months, know that this is something that's top of mind for us and that we're really working with our internal teams as well as our sellers to make as good as possible. Those are some of the things that I really wanted to highlight for everybody that are live on the site right now. A little bit different than what I mentioned in our first webinar. But now I want to look ahead. I want to show you some of the really big pieces of functionality coming down the line throughout this year and the next couple of months, even that we have heard you give feedback on constantly, and that we really want to highlight for you as webinar, as kind of first glimpse on this webinar. The first big one is credit cards. Credit cards are something that we know you've been asking for a very long time. Uh, Hopefully, you can let out a sigh of relief. These are coming to the platform, hopefully in the next month or two. Really, you can go into your account, go to your payment methods. Once this is released, you'll be able to add a credit card right there, and then you'll be able to pay for your inventory upon winning it with any credit card. There will be some convenience fees attached to paying by credit card, similar to what we have with the Net Terms program right now. But keep an eye out for more information over the next several weeks on this. In conjunction with credit card, we're rolling out a really cool new feature for our online payment methods called AutoPay. AutoPay is a way to actually speed up the payment process for you as buyers and alleviate some of the pains that especially our bigger buyers have on the platform when you're winning multiple listings at a time. You no longer need to sort through your emails and go and find that bid one email or go back into your account to pay for that inventory. What AutoPay is going to do is when you start to bid on a listing, you'll actually select your preferred shipping and payment method. And when you win that listing, we're going to give you an hour where there's a grace window. And after that 1 hour, we're going to charge your card and tell the seller that that inventory has been paid so they can ship out inventory faster than ever. That grace period is something that we really wanted to make sure we had for you. If there is ever a need to update your payment method or change your shipping location, that's where you'll be able to do it. So don't worry, you will still have some time, but the hope is that our buyers and you really do start to utilize this, and we can just consistently increase that time that it or reduce that time that it takes to pay for listings so that we can tell our sellers that you've paid and get that inventory out the door sooner than ever. A couple other things. There are rare cases where, for one reason or another, inventory doesn't actually get paid for by the winning bidder. In those cases, we are coming out with a new feature called second chance offers. Second chance offers is going to give that runner up, that bidder with the second highest bid, a chance to actually purchase that inventory without needing to rebid. It's a huge benefit that we think buyers like you are going to love. All that's going to happen is if after the payment period ends and we find that a buyer doesn't pay for their inventory, we're going to actually email you and tell you that you were the runner up and you will get the opportunity to purchase that inventory at your own bid amount and not have to go in and compete against other buyers once again. So really looking forward to that as another kind of extension of payments and how to win listings on the platform. And going along with that same vein of thought, we're introducing a My Interest page that'll live in your buyer profile. In this section, you're actually going to get the opportunity to answer a couple of key questions about your business, really with the intention that we can then customize your on-site experience at Bstock, show you inventory that really meets the needs of your business, send you emails that are customized for your business's needs, and actually with some of those questions, we can qualify you for other programs or inventory that you may not be seeing or actively engaging with right now. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Again, we will notify you as these new features come down the line. And we really would love for you to fill out the My Interest page to make sure that we can create the best experience for you possible on Bstock. A couple of other cool improvements that we're working on right now and that are coming down the line. Search. Search is a big one that we know our buyers have been frustrated with over the past few years. We're continually making this better and better. We've rolled out a couple updates to it over the past few weeks, and it's something that our engineering and product teams are working on all the time. You'll notice this screenshot that I have here showed that TVs actually, if you had checked this a couple weeks ago, would not have shown up on the platform and there would have been no results. Now, if you go on, you can actually search for TVs and you'll get a bunch of different results for sellers across the entire Bstock network that are selling TVs that may meet your business's needs. Give it a test, give it a try. If there is, things that don't show up, don't worry. We are constantly checking these ourselves, and we're doing our best to make sure that improvements to this come out every couple of weeks. The other thing that I mentioned earlier was what in the list view section was at percent of MSRP. So we're going to be trying to roll this out on the grid view as well as a filter, just to make it a little bit easier to find and for you as a buyer to use. So keep an eye out for that as well. I'm now going to hand it back to the rest of our team to go over a couple Q&As, and really focus in on some of the other areas that everybody was interested in.
Thank you so much, Noah, for all those updates on payments and all of the platform enhancements. So yes, be sure to keep tabs on that as we roll out those enhancements. And yeah, like Noah said, we're going to get into some of the pre-submitted questions that we received as part of the registration for this webinar. So let's go ahead and jump into those. So first up, just started wholesale purchasing and reselling. Any tips on best practices? And Drea, with your extensive knowledge on the Buyer Resource Center, I think you'd be perfect for this one.
Thanks. So we say this a lot at B-Stock, crawl, walk, and then run. So you really just the key is starting small. You want to make sure those numbers work, knowing who you're going to sell to before you buy and where. So rushing into a deal never really works. A numbers back spreadsheet will tell you exactly what to bid and what you can sell it for. So really assess those listings by using the manifest and run your numbers, and that will help ensure, the numbers work. And another great feature we have now, like Noah talked about, are those net terms. This really increases your purchasing power across the platform, giving you 30 days to pay, and that's just more time to flip inventory. And this can really improve your cash flow if you're just getting started. So if you want some additional resources, we have a QR code there for our YouTube channel, and I also plugged that earlier. All of our great how-to videos are there. Again, check out that Buyer Resource Center. It's pretty much like accessible anywhere across the site. Just click that For Buyers tab, and we'll be sending you this complete checklist for buying on Bstock, and that will be coming to your inboxes after this webinar. So very soon, hang tight for that.
Perfect. Thanks, Drea. Up next, are you able to ship items overseas? And I think you covered this a little bit too in your slides too, Drea. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so this is, a perfect question. It's important to note Bstock doesn't manage or organize shipping. We don't do that ourselves. So it's most common to work with a US-based freight forwarder so that you can access that inventory from outside of your origin country. And you didn't touch on this during my demo, but in the buyer profile, you'll be uploading cross-border shopping documents, and you can see that screenshot right there below. And one of those important documents are your letter of proof, and that shows the freight forwarding address with the company's letterhead so that you can receive that inventory. So check out that list of sellers that I mentioned with the region by region breakdown, and you can see who allows it selling, reselling outside of the US.
Perfect. On to the next. What is the best way to export shipments to Canada? So similar to the last question, but particular to Canada. Do you want to take this one too, Drea?
Yeah, we got our Canadian buyers listening. I love that. So with that proper cross-border shopping documentation submitted, and it's, validated, good to go, you're gonna, at the listing view, once you've found a listing you're interested in, select a way to receive goods, and then it'll be the option outside origin country. So I know it's a bit small there, but that lets you choose your freight forwarding address that you've uploaded into your buyer profile. So if the seller allows, this will be enabled and you can click that. And then you work with the freight forwarder to arrange the export of the goods outside the US. So if you want to bypass all that, you don't feel like exporting, don't worry. We also offer inventory directly from sellers with Canadian facilities. So you can easily see those by clicking through the all listings page. We have that all regions drop down, and then you can select your desired region, and those will be listings just in Canada.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Drea. Now, next question. How do full truckload contract sales work? And I'm going to bring in Noah, I mean, sorry, not Noah, Vic from our buyer account management team to take this one.
Yeah, thanks, Bethany. And hey, everyone, excited to be here and hopefully able to see you guys in future conferences. But I'm going to be completely honest and transparent here. Contracts aren't for everyone. Auctions remain the most excellent option to explore different categories, get familiar with the platform, and finding what best works for you. I frequently recommend auctions to all my buyers. However, if you're looking to grow your business with fewer surprises and more consistent sourcing, pricing, and delivery times, that's what contracts are for. That's where our team helps different types of resellers establish dependable sourcing systems. And shown on the slide there, these are all our retail partners that have direct contracts with us. And the simplest way to think about B-stock contracts is a structured agreement that gives you more predictable access to inventory, often a more stable price point, shipping rates, so you can actually plan ahead without reacting week to week. And we prioritize full transparency by providing you a full manifest before you receive the order. And contracts look different depending on how you run your business. What changes is your day-to-day in the questions that you're asking. So instead of what can I win this week, you start asking what does my business need next week, next month, next quarter. And it shifts from reactive to being planned. And that's where real scale starts. So I also want to be clear, contracts don't eliminate risk by no means. This is still secondary market inventory, but what it does do is relieve the sourcing side and making it far less random and aligned it with an actual operating plan, and that's the win.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Vic.
Mhm.
And moving right along, next question. How do I know if contracts are right for me? And I think you spoke a little bit on that, Vic, so you can expand
For
here.
sure. So again, my team is here to help you build that sourcing engine that fits your model and your constraints. Across all of you, the goal is the same. It's to help secure inventory that matches your business model, your space, your labor, cash flow, your risk tolerance. So growth doesn't break your operations. And based off a qualifying questionnaire, we would determine the three possible outcomes. So if you're a great fit, we'll find the right program, we'll set expectations when you receive your first order, and we get feedback on how that has worked for you and your business. If you're not set up for contracts just yet, we can give you clear steps to help you get there based off historical data that we worked with other buyers and how they've grown from auctions all the way to receiving full truckloads. And if auctions are a better fit, we can tailor recommend which marketplaces, what categories that can help your business grow overall. And the point of the program or contracts isn't just to sell you it. The point is to help you scale sourcing with fewer surprises and have better control.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vic, for that. And then next question here, how do I source higher value merchandise and filter out lower value items? And can I source by percentage of value? And I think Noah covered this a little bit in his slide. So Noah, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Bethany. I think this is, again, hopefully some of the areas that I went over in today's presentation start to answer this question. But to go over a couple of key areas, I think really starting with search, again, if there are specific items that you have in mind, if a manifest does have those items in it, search will bring it up. So that's the first place that I would start. Once you have that deals filter available to you on the website, I would definitely say use that because that'll really make sure that you can get the most valuable merchandise or at the best deals possible. And then using that percent of MSRP filter within the list view as well is a good way to really quickly narrow down on inventory at a good price. I think the one thing that I do want to mention again that I did mention on our first webinar is the ability to save a search. So this feature, if you've searched for something or selected specific filters and find that those work really well, right? You're always looking at those filters when you are browsing on the platform. You can actually click that save search button, and what it will do is store that information in your account. And if inventory ever becomes available that matches those criteria, you can actually, or you will get an email notifying you every day. You can have as many saved searches as you want. So you could have it for a specific category, a mix of a search plus other filters, really anything that's available on the website to more easily narrow down on what you're looking for can be combined within that saved search. So I would say those are really good options to find high value merchandise, making sure that it also works for your business. So hopefully all those in combination, give it a try, and see what you think.
Awesome. Thank you, Noah. And with that, folks, that brings us to the end of our session for today. I want to thank you all so much for joining wherever you're streaming this from. You can find us on social media on Facebook, X, YouTube, and TikTok coming up very soon. If you weren't able to join us live, you can always rewatch this on demand. I'll be sending out a recording via email later today. And again, check out that Bio Resource Center. We have so many incredible tools there, as Drea mentioned. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.